Listen, I've been nice lately, and I've been calm, and I've been patient with Bears fans, even with the doubt around Rome and some of the stupid comments that are made around Jalen Johnson. But some of you Bears fans are acting like the season is over with because the Rams got Myles Garrett, and I'm gonna need y'all to stop being cowards, just straight up. I'm gonna need y'all to stop being cowards. Yes, Myles Garrett is a monster, and yes, the Rams getting him absolutely does matter. But some of y'all said and reacted the same way last year with the Michael Parsons trade. And look how that went. Football is a multi-layered thing, and a lot goes into a team being successful. But that doesn't mean that you pack in the season. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about DeAndre Swift, saying there's going to be no drop-off between him and Kyle Monangai, and how Kyle Monangai, right along with Luther Burden, is shaped up to have a big breakout this year. We're going to talk about all that, plus Logan Jones and more, right after this. What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today, y'all, and I need y'all to stop panicking. Stop it. This is it's a 17-game season, and a lot goes into a season. Now, I get it. The Los Angeles Rams we're already a monster. There's just no doubt about that. We know that the Rams are absolutely a monster team, right? You cannot take away from them in that at all, right? But they were already going to be a monstrous team. Yes, them adding Myles Garrett to this team is a huge uplift for them and gives them a shot in the arm at that edge position that's absolutely going to be crazy. It was a blockbuster trade and an amazing one. And shout out to the Rams for getting that done. I feel like both sides got exactly what they need. The Browns get a Pro Bowler of an edge as well that they can build around some first-round pick, and it's a smart move when it came down to it, right? But I think at the end of the day, some Bears fans, some people already left comments saying, oh, my God, it doesn't even matter what the Bears do this season. The season's already over with. The Rams got Myles Garrett. It's all done. It's all over. Some of y'all, I can already tell, don't have a competitive bone and didn't play a single sport in your damn life, right? Because most people will tell you, yes, you can stack the deck all day long, but there is so much that goes into having a successful season in the NFL, and there could be other factors that play a part in this. People acting like the Chicago Bears or any other team in the NFC should all of a sudden just not give a damn because the Rams got Myles Garrett. What type of quitting culture are y'all trying to build here? What do you think we are supposed? Do you think that you're going to go untested? And this is why I say things that I say, like I love to see my team come up against the adversity, come up against, because that's how you build yourself. And I'll say this. For those that should, even those that want the Chicago Bears to take their pass rush more seriously, this could be the thing that makes Ryan Poles realize, oh no, this upcoming offseason, the season of a trade becomes available, whatever. If Max Crosby actually does, like, we absolutely have to go all in on that. But let's not act like it's all done. Garrett is an elite player, and he is going to bring a lot to that Rams defense. Make no mistake about it. And Bears fans, you can respect the move, but without acting like it's all for naught now for this season. Stop being cowards, right? You got to be confident, because I guarantee you this, ain't nobody in that Bears locker room was looking at it saying, oh, well, this season doesn't matter now. We just got to go out. Like, you got to have the same competitive edge that these players, this coaching staff, and everybody have shown you, and they've shown us what? They have that, right? The Bears have tons of offensive firepower in regards to that as well. And I tell you what, Ben Johnson, the way he's going to use that, I'm extremely excited about. Plus, this is the NFC. Nobody's going to hand the Chicago Bears or any team in this NFC anything, and y'all definitely shouldn't be trying to hand the Rams a goddamn thing because they traded for Myles Garrett. We've seen blockbuster moves happen before that have not resulted in a Super Bowl, right? And that's not to say that I think Myles Garrett is going to have a bad season with the Rams. No, I think he's going to have a great season with the Rams. But that does not mean that the Rams are some unbeatable force now. This is football. This is any given Sunday. This is scheme. This is all the things that go into this. Y'all got to stop. One thing that I do not like, and this is why I stopped coaching my son after YMCA days, is because I can't deal with people who are non-competitive. Not to say my son was always competitive, but some of the other kids and their parents on that, nonetheless. So you can't, right? Stop overreacting to this. Stop playing into the hands of this. It's not over. When you see this team not show fight on the football field, then you can give up. That'll be something that's more, warranting giving up on the season. This, nah. Look at it as another test. Look at it as another challenge, and look at it as another hill that you're gonna have to find a way to overcome, and another wake-up call that nothing comes easy in the NFC. Nothing comes easy in the NFL. Nothing at all. It is going to be a fight for everybody in this conference, in this division. Everybody is going to fight, claw. You know why they went out and got somebody like Myles Garrett? It was because they realized they needed a competitive edge. Not saying against the Bears, but in the NFC, they needed to find more edge in what they need to do in this season. And that's the reality of it. Everything's an adjustment. Everything is living. Everything is fluid. It goes in motion and all this type of stuff. Like, I shouldn't have to tell y'all this. Y'all have all been football fans for years. Most of y'all have. Stop with the cowardice. Like, that is not Chicago. On top of that, we don't even face the Rams on a regular season. So, like, calm the fuck down, y'all. Chill the hell out. We gonna go attack it like we always do. And that's what football, this is what football is about. Stop it with the cowardice. I'm sick and tired of Bears fans hiding behind their own internal cowardice. Stop that bullshit. It's not over with. Now, let's see what the Bears do with it. Let's see if this forces Ryan Poles to make a move or something like that. Let's see, right? But let's get into the actual Bears, man. DeAndre Swift says there's going to be no drop-off with him and Kyle Monangai. Swift and Kyle Monangai, they may not be as flashy as some of the other running back duos, right? But I tell you what, they're effective, and you can't take that away from Kyle Monangai and DeAndre Swift and how effective that they were last year. They turned that rushing attack into one of the best rushing attacks in the game of football with what they were able to do last season. And I love seeing that, right? You got to love seeing what they were able to do and how they were able to build it. But this is the exact quote from DeAndre Swift. He said this: "There's no drop-off at all. He's able to do everything. I'm able to do everything. It's tough on defenses when I make something happen. His number gets called. He makes something happen. Like, what are you going to do? Especially with the O-line we have and how those guys are coached and the way Ben's system is, a lot for a defense to account for 4 quarters." And that's absolutely right. This is a rushing attack that, keep in mind, there were how many times last year where we knew that we didn't go to our rushing attack probably as much as we needed to, right? They were a top 3 rushing attack in the game of football. They averaged over 140 yards per game. DeAndre Swift had a career year of 1,087 yards, his second over 1,000-yard season of his entire career. And Kyle Monangai, as a 7th-round rookie, had 783 yards and 5 touchdowns. You know what Ben Johnson's going to do when he to build off of that? He's going to take that to the next level. DeAndre Swift also talked about the chemistry between him and Kyle Monangai, saying this: "We always talk. Anything he sees or I see, we always go to each other. I asked him today a little route I had. Did you see that? Was there something inside of me? Was there something outside of me? We just talk ball." That is the special part of all of this, is the communication behind it and how they're talking about what they're seeing defensives do. Because when you do that, you're giving somebody a competitive edge, and you want that conversation and communication. You want your players to be doing that. Of course, you want your coaches, especially the guy up in the box. You want everybody to be doing that and noticing things. But when players are having that talk and say, "Hey, what did I miss out there? Oh, I missed that? Cool. Hey, when you were out there, I noticed something. Did you see that?" Like, that's what you want. That's the chemistry that you build between the team. That's why when you have continuity with the team, these are the type of things that you want to see with the continuity that gets built with teammates. So I love that. And I think the Chicago Bears are really getting to a point where we're going to see a lot of just the refinement from what we did last year, and it taking it to another level because of that refinement, because of the familiarity, because of the battles that they went through last year. You get that done. You be consistent with that. That's going to be something special in regards to this one. Kyle Monangai, especially, like his ability to just understand the gaps and go through those gaps and not be taken down by the first contact. That is something great. What Ben Johnson's system is about creating stress when both backs can do everything, creating stress on that defense, because then you have to think about, hey, if both backs are capable of catching passes, if both are capable going to the outside, going to the inside, when you don't have, and DeAndre Swift, to his credit, had one of his best seasons running between the tackles. When you're able to do that and do it consistently, you put the defense on its heels, and that's what that's about. So the question here isn't about can they do it. We know that they can. We saw it last year. The question about it is it that this has now become one of the more underrated running back duos in the NFL, and I think what they show in year 2 together is going to be highly amazing for this team. And so we're just going to have to see what's going to happen in regards to that. These two backs communicating, that's a big part of what this team's going to do. And so I want to piggyback off that, right? We've talked a lot about players making breakouts and leaps this season. Talked about Colston Loveland a lot. Like, I've talked about him a lot because I think Colston Loveland is a guy that already was one of the best statistical tight ends in the game of football last season. And that's going to keep in mind, he wasn't first month before he was really entrenched in that game plan. We're going to see that from day one for him now. But Kyle Monangai and Luther Burden are both two guys as well that are ready to break out. You look at Kyle Monangai and how the Bears found, like many people judged the Chicago Bears last year in the draft where we needed running back. Everybody knew we needed running back depth, and the Bears waited to round 7 to find it. That wasn't their initial plan. We know that they wanted to try to trade up, and they wanted to get another one. It didn't work out. But I think Kyle Monangai just continues to show that he's great. Christopher Knox wrote this about Kyle Monangai and Luther Burden. He said this: "If Chicago finds a stable O-line combination, second-year players Kyle Monangai and Luther Burden could both be on the verge of breaking out. Burden showed a ton of promise down the stretch last season, overcoming a slow start to finish with 652 yards and 2 touchdowns. Following the DJ Moore trade, Burden should be entrenched as the Bears' number 2 target opposite Rome Odunze. Some Bears fans are even going to say that he's probably going to be the number 1 target. We'll see." Monangai, meanwhile, recorded 947 scrimmage yards and 5 touchdowns while largely working behind DeAndre Swift. With Swift entering a contract year, it wouldn't be a shock to see Monangai take over as the lead back and Chicago's long-term starter at some point in 2026. Now, I've raised concerns before about if Kyle Monangai could be an every down running back one. And it's not against Kyle Monangai. I just think that those guys, like, it's a rarity now. You see the dual-pronged running back attacks in the NFL. Like, that is a thing that the NFL as a whole has shifted to, not just the Chicago Bears, but this is a shift. You want multiple running backs back there. And I tell you what, one of the running backs that wasn't mentioned in that is Coleman Bennett, who I think don't overlook him either. We'll talk about more on that maybe on another day. But Kyle Monangai and Luther Burden both, right? If both these guys have what could be labeled as a breakout year in 2026, it does nothing but benefit this team. We've already heard Ben Johnson and how glowing he is about Luther Burden, talking about why he would buy stock in Luther Burden. Hell, we talked about it. Luther Burden, when he gets the ball in his hands, and when he gets that possession, it's so hard to take him down, whether it's in the open field, whether it's on the sideline. He's shown an ability to do just about everything, right? And so thinking that, especially coming into this year, no DJ Moore, Luther Burden talking about him reaching out to DJ Moore about his professionalism and stuff like that, it's going to be a big year for Luther. Luther is going to have a lot on him where people are looking and saying, was it a fluke, right? Was it a fluke? Now you don't have DJ Moore as a safety net. What can you, Rome, Jahade Walker, Khalif Raymond, Xavier Thomas, Jahade Walker, what can you guys do as a core? And Luther Burden is one of the guys at the forefront of that. Him and Rome Odunze. Like I said, I'm not getting into the because I think they're 1A, 1B at this point. They both have extremely big strengths for this team, and they both are driven to be great for this team. And the connection between the two together is what's going to lead this team, this offense, hopefully, to be an elite. And same thing with that running back duo, right? Kyle Monangai is going to have probably a lot more responsibility than we had last year. Almost 1,000 yards from scrimmage as a 7th-round drafted rookie, right? And that shows where Kyle Monangai and the ceiling that Kyle Monangai has. He's not even begun to really scratch that yet. And that's what you want to see right now. So I think both these guys have their own case to be made for a breakout year. But the good thing is that they're both in Bears jerseys. Like, I don't get this point that some Bears fans fall into playing against each other, players against each other. I don't care. I want to see everybody succeed. Go out there and get it done. And let's see what can happen, because this Bears offense has the potential to truly be elite this season. I mean that. I stand by that. I live by that. They can be elite this season, and you're going to need guys like this to stand out and stand up for us to truly get to that elite place. And I think that with that, them being ready to break out, that's great to see. With that said, let's move on, right? There's been a lot of talk about Logan Jones and what he can be or what he cannot be for this team, right? Like, you know, him being able to, if Logan Jones does win the starting center position this season, it does nothing but help the things that we have going on in regards to that, right? So with that said, there's been some conversation about what Logan Jones is going to be able to bring to this team and stuff like that. And this is a quote from ESPN that says this in regards to Logan Jones. As my little cheat sheet here fell off, he says this: Logan was one that stood out. My visit with him when he was there, I was extremely impressed by the football knowledge. It's from Ben Johnson. Makeup very mature to me. It's not what we're getting in a rookie. We're getting a guy that's a little bit more seasoned as a player, which really is not uncommon for those Iowa men. This one comes from the ESPN that says this: the sudden retirement of Drew Dahlman left a huge hole at center for the Bears long term. Chicago traded for Garrett Bradbury to be its presumptive starter in 26, but he'll be a free agent after the 26th season. Jones could be the centerpiece of Chicago's O-line in 27 and beyond. Here's the thing that I want to say, right? And this came from Jordan Reed, who was the draft analyst at ESPN. I say this, don't count him out to do it now. Logan Jones has all the doesn't allow sacks, is good in the run game, good in the pass game. We know what Iowa offensive linemen can typically do, right? If Logan Jones does win this job early for the Chicago Bears, it either makes Gary Bradbury a trade candidate, you can just let him expire, a safety net, whatever it is. But one of the biggest battles in training camp to watch is to see how Logan Jones can come out of this and if he can really win this one. I think that you don't go into it like Dan Rouchar is the guy that I trust wholeheartedly on this team. I've talked about that many times. If Dan Rouchar believes in you, I believe in you, right? And so I trust Dan Rouchar to get the most out of whatever offensive linemen are there and evaluate. And that's what I came into last season with the left tackle battle, right? I trust Dan Rouchar. We saw Dan Rouchar quickly realize, hey, Braxton Jones ain't the answer, right? So same thing with the center position. It's no knock on Garrett Bradbury, but he always was a stopgap veteran center option. Now you still have Logan Jones who's here and could be a guy that can absolutely flip the dynamic here, win this position in year one, and then at that point, we have our center of the now and in the future, and that's the key that you're looking for there. Can we get it done? Let's hope so, right? Like, we'll see with Logan Jones. And at the same time, but don't put pressure on him to where he has to become the center in year one. I don't think he has to become the starting center in year one for it to be a successful draft for the Chicago Bears to get him at where they got him at. But if he does, it just eliminates more of those questions that some Bears fans have in regard to it. But one of the biggest questions that Bears fans have is on the defensive line. And I want to get into this quote from Grady Jarrett that he talked about and that Bears fans are aware of how the Bears players are aware of how fans are talking about the defensive line. Grady Jarrett saying this: "We all got cell phones and internet," which is funny. We hear it, but also it comes with the job. At the end of the day, we really have to take it personal and get back to work. Sometimes your best isn't good enough. All we can do as a unit is look in the mirror and challenge ourselves every day to go and be better and do what we need to have better output. Now, Grady Jarrett is one of the players that many people were disappointed with last year, right? You look at injuries, all the type of stuff, whatever you want to label there, the defensive line was just not as effective as you wanted it to be. Talked about in yesterday's episode how the depth that we brought behind Grady Jarrett, if Grady Jarrett continues to struggle, you have better depth now behind him and more consistent depth where you can bet on it, throw different looks. And then, of course, you have the rookie in Jordan Vandenberg out there as well, right? But I think like the defensive line being aware of what they need to work on is a good thing. Now, I don't want it to be the self-conscious thing, but go out there and prove what you can do because this defensive line as a whole was disappointing last year. Now, there was injuries to Austin Booker. We missed some other players at times, right? But I think now when you look at the Bears and their bet on Grady Jarrett, Dayo Odeyingbo, Austin Booker, Montez Sweat, everything and what they have to have the years that they need to have. You also look at Kentavious Street, Neville Gallimore, bringing in those guys for depth. You expect better performance. And like I've said many times before, for me, it's not about becoming a top 10 defensive line overnight, but can you become in the top half of that? Can you get that done, right? Shamar Turner, there's another player that didn't really give the Bears much. Dayo Odeyingbo gave the Bears nothing. Like, really, a lot of the acquisitions last year didn't ultimately give us much. Grady Jarrett, Dayo Odeyingbo, Shamar Turner didn't really give us much last season. Can you get that now? Grady Jarrett saying he's healthy now, so now let's see it, right? A motivated Dayo Odeyingbo, take that for what you will, right? But the Bears have clearly banked on internal development. Now, a big part of that is going to be Austin Booker. A big part of that is going to be the hope from Austin Booker, and I've said Javon Dexter as well. If you get better growth from those two players, especially if Javon Dexter can become a little bit better in the run game, right? Like, Big Dex to me, like some people are like, oh, he's absolutely not coming back. I can't say that. He's still a damn good defensive tackle per the things, but his glaring holes is how much of the weaknesses that he have, how much can you overcome that? How much has he tightened up on those things? That's what you have to question about, and we'll see what's going to happen there. I just want to see this defensive line be better, right? You can improve this season internally. How much you can improve, I think 3 players are a big part of how much you can improve internally. Austin Booker, Javon Dexter, Jordan Vandenberg, right? Jordan Vandenberg as a rookie is a wild card. If he can come in and contribute in year one as a rookie, it says a lot about him. It says a lot about the future there. If Javon Dexter can improve on his shortcomings, it says a lot there. And if Austin Booker can benefit off of what we're already hearing in training camp, what we saw last year in preseason, and the flashes that we saw when he was healthy last season, if he can benefit off that and take that another step further, we already know how far this team can go. You got to show it, though. All the potential in the world does not matter if the results don't eventually come on the football field. You got to see the results to go along with the potential. Otherwise, potential is just something, it's just a word, really. It's really just a word. So how much of it is real? That's what the Bears need to show. That's what these players need to show. How much of this is real? How much of this can we bet on? How much of this can we believe in? How much of this can we see day in and day out? That's what we have to see from this team. If we can get that done, great. Like, let's go out there, let's get it done, let's see what we can do, because the Chicago Bears overall are a big part of, the defensive line is a big part of where we need to improve to get to that next step as a team this upcoming year. And let's see if we can do that. But that's going to do it for today's episode, y'all. I'll say it again. The Rams getting Myles Garrett does not mean that the season is over with, and stop being cowards. Respect the move, respect the player, respect the challenge and what comes with that one right there. But stop being afraid for the challenge, because these players, they shouldn't be. So why should we be as fans when they're the ones out there on the football field? And I think overall this season as well, watching the growth from players like Kyle Monangai, Luther Burden, Logan Jones, Austin Booker, this season has all the makings to be a very fun one for the Chicago Bears. And let's hope that we can continue to make that next step to getting to the place where we all want to be, and hope that the Bears can eventually become an actually Super Bowl contending team. So let's see. But I want to hear from you guys down below about how you guys feel. What do you feel the Bears need to do after the Myles Garrett thing? Who do you think breaks out for this team this upcoming year? And do you think Logan Jones is going to get the starting position right away? Let us know all that down below. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel as well. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. You can follow us at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoBearsCentral@gmail.com. And lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-242-9336. We are the #1 spot for everything Chicago Bears related. But that's thanks to you, lovely and beautiful people. And like I like to end every episode on, Chi-Town up, but Bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.